Finland has joined the big league. There was an Islamic, the religion of peace attack here in Finland, in Turku, the city I live in, and some 18-year-old Moroccan guy stabbed like 10 people. 2 of them are dead and 8 were injured, according to the information I gleaned from the media. And there's some uncertainty still about some stuff. Like there were some reports of people running around with some like baseball bat kind item objects. So like maybe they were like, good Samaritans who wanted to attack the killer, or maybe the killer wasn't working alone. Like according to the media, he was working alone, but of course the media is the media and you cannot really trust the authorities either, so there might be something else going on. But I guess so far I'm gonna assume that the story on the media is mostly correct, just to, I don't know, make it simple. Because I want to talk about like the other stuff. And first, to like top it off, I want to address the argument like, oh, it's been less than 24 hours, I shouldn't talk about it, I should shut the fuck up to like respect the victims and all that stuff. And I don't get it, like why shouldn't, like now it's like it doesn't make much sense if I talk about it like 1 month from now when most people have forgotten about it. Like, strike while the iron is hot and stuff. Because I've been watching this stuff happen all over Europe for the last couple of years, and it does nothing to pretend like, oh, I want to respect people's feelings and shit, and or like, oh, pray for Turku, and oh, my heart goes out to the families of the victims. Like, it means nothing. Like, of course, like, if you really are a family member of one of the victims, like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't be looking into it too much now. Maybe you should be grieving or do whatever you want. But, like, for me, I live in this city. I have friends and family in this city. So I want to, like, look at the solutions and the facts. I don't give a fuck about your fucking feelings. If it offends you, go fucking cry in the corner, you pussy. Because these attacks from the religion of peace have been going on for a long time now across Europe, and just crying about it or showing how fucking compassionate you are does absolutely nothing. So yeah, we should be looking at solutions, not emotions. And I want to tackle some of like the arguments that I've already heard, or that I might be hearing, or you might be hearing, like some dumb arguments that people say, like, not all Muslims, or like, maybe like, okay, this guy was a Muslim, but maybe he didn't do it because of Islam, and maybe he was just mentally unstable that he stabbed these people. And so you shouldn't, like, basically do anything about it, because we all know that there is a greater chance of a Muslim who is in Europe doing something like this than, let's say, a Japanese or a German tourist or exchange student. Like, and it's not like they don't commit crimes. Like in Japan, there are all sorts of like gruesome crimes, or people cut off like heads of their family members and stuff. But they have like this, especially in Japan, they have like this notion that they don't want to impose their own problems onto other people. But in Islamic cultures, it seems more like they don't want to impose their problems on their own family. So instead they attack strangers. Although I'm not sure. I don't know yet, like if the guy attacked complete strangers or if he knew some of his victims or what. But that's how it's usually in these attacks of peace. So, but anyway, like, so people who say like not all Muslims or like oh, it's just a few bad eggs and all that stuff. What they are basically saying that we should do nothing about the Islamic mass immigration into Europe, and that we shouldn't even um, like do proper security checks on them or like find out their identities and crap. But it's like saying because they say because like maybe, like majority of Muslims are still good. They don't do stuff like this, and I suppose I agree that the majority of Muslims don't do this, but a great like a significant minority of them does. And to just to excuse this whole thing based on that is like saying you shouldn't do like security checks in an airport or like a concert or something, because the majority of people going there, they're not carrying any guns or bombs on their like hidden bombs and guns and stuff on their person. So you shouldn't uh, like make everybody into a suspect just based on a few possible bad eggs. Like it makes absolutely no fucking sense. Like because well, it is obvious that there is a connection between Muslims and these peaceful attacks. And another thing, like it might be that maybe this guy wasn't a part of any Islamist cell. Maybe it wasn't like it wasn't a complete terrorist attack. Maybe it was just an unstable guy. Well, he was still a Muslim who killed people in broad daylight. So does it really matter if he was doing it because of his ideology or because he was unstable? But based on what I see, it seems that being Muslim renders you more likely to be violently unstable. And it actually speaks more against Islam, since like if he wasn't part of any network but and he still did it, because well, Muslims just seem to do this sort of stuff. It's quite normal nowadays, and it like if they do it even though they haven't been like inducted into some sort of like a terrorist cell or something, it just so it makes it more like normal for Muslims to do something like this. And of course, like it was in broad daylight in this marketplace in Turku. It was here, if you can see on the screen, like with the people standing. There's always like two Jehovah's Witnesses there standing, and they have some stand with their Jehovah Bibles or whatever, and nobody ever talks to them. But like supposedly one of the people that died was a Jehovah's Witness, and another one was a young girl who went to help her after she had been stabbed, and then the attacker sliced her throat or something. So, and then they ran, like the killer ran from here, and then went up the street here. There's another, like a square there. But, whatever, so yeah, this happened in broad daylight, and this is quite unusual for Finland. Like, of course there are like Finns commit violent crimes every now and then, like some guy snaps, either he he's drunk and he kills somebody or attacks somebody in like when they're queuing for some sausages at a grill kiosk or something, or like somebody snaps and kills their family or something. But so somebody might say that, oh well, Finns commit lots of violence too. Look at these statistics. Like Finns commit violent crimes too. So does it excuse bringing more violent criminals to Finland from other countries? We already have our problems here from the native population. So should we really does it help to bring more violence here? Like, is it gonna protect the innocent people in Finland more if you bring more violent criminals here? Like, it's no excuse. Like, even though Finland isn't perfect, like we're not all saints here, just me. But so yeah, it's no excuse to bring more of these potential violent criminals here. And another thing, like now the police are saying that they are investigating. Here it says from Yle News. It's like the Finnish equivalent of the BBC, so it's crap, but they have the official story, so this is good enough for my purposes. So the police confirms the stabbings are being investigated as terroristic murders. So I don't fucking care if it's terrorism or not. Like, this is like whenever one of these attacks, like, if it's not like a big explosion or something, they're like, is it terrorism? Is it just murder? Like, what the fuck does it matter? Like, there's some person killing other people, and he's obviously a Muslim. So isn't it like the only reason why it might matter is if he's part of a terrorist network and they're planning to do more attacks like this. In that sense, but basically this is like some is it terrorism or is it not terrorism? And it's like a complete fucking psyop that you're arguing over semantics instead of caring about human life and security and just general sanity of society. Like, it just fucking pisses me off. Okay, let's move on. So yeah, and there's this article also from Yle. This is disgusting, just this victim glorification crap. Some reporter wrote, we should also remember from Turku this thing, compared to one violent criminal or whatever, there are droves of those who would risk their lives for others. So because there's these good people who wanna help, we should be so happy about it. Like, no, I don't fucking care. Like, they didn't do much. Like, it was the police. Like, at least according to what the police say, the police got the report of this stabbing in 16:02, so 2:04, and they caught the stabber 5:04, so in 3 minutes. So that was pretty good. And they shot him once in the thigh, I think, and then they took him, and the perpetrator is still alive in the hospital, which is good, I guess, in the sense that maybe he can provide some useful information. Otherwise, yeah, of course, it might be good just to shoot him in the head. I am pro death penalty in certain crimes, and this sounds like it, but of course there should be a trial and stuff, and there's no death penalty in Finland, but yeah, I think maybe there should be. But anyways, yeah, here it says so yeah, it says that 70-year-old guy sprinted after the stabber and the Swedish tourist. The Swedish tourist is actually, he's like a Muslim. He has Hazier, his name. So I don't know. It's just funny. Like, if he actually did try to fight against the stabber, this is good. Because from what I see, this is rare that Muslims or people from countries with an Islamic, background or whatever, that they actually do something altruistic. I think this is rare, so I don't know. It's just funny that the Swedish tourist is actually some sort of like Middle Eastern or something. So anyway, it says this information helps you believe that we are not powerless in front of hatred, like right, some inner chief, whatever, Ville Seuri. Like, I don't know, this fucking hate, like, they're like children. Like, I don't fucking care if somebody is full of hate or something. Like, is this some fantasy world with like My Little Pony or something? Like, the energy of hate is so great, or like, is the Emperor from Star Wars, like, give in to your hate, step into the dark side? Like, does the hate actually matter as much that, compared to like, violent criminals who stabs? Like, the problem is not hatred, it's being pussy. Like, vast majority of Europeans are complete fucking pussies. They don't want to face the facts or anything like that. They just, they want to go along with whatever the media says and whatnot. And I'm not just saying that, people who want to excuse the fact that there is violent Muslim attacks have been going on for, it seems like ages already. And, countless cases. But also like still this sort of false dichotomy between Islam and the West. I'm gonna get to it later, but still, I'm not, because I don't agree completely with the right-wing narrative either, because I certainly don't agree with the left-wing narrative that, we shouldn't condemn our Muslims because most of them do. Half of them do commit violent crimes, so don't give in to the hate. Like, I despise that narrative, but okay, let's move on. And yeah, like here it says, like, on Friday, the first feeling caused by the news was despair. Are we completely powerless when facing this hatred? And it's like, it's fucking disgusting. Like, this shouldn't be like, I can understand if you're a teenage girl and you want to write your blog, go do it, but this is not fucking news, it's nothing, I just saw this, also, I guess today or maybe last night, there was a stabbing in Russia, in Western Siberia, in Surgut, and 8 people were stabbed, I think. Yeah, they were injured, and then the police shot the stabber, and, well, yeah, I don't know, it's just interesting coincidence. And, yeah, the motive, like, of course, like, this asks, like, what was the motive of the attack? And, well, I suppose it matters in the sense that, if he did plan it and he was part of some network or something, but it's still like, in the grand scheme of things, it's just basic pattern recognition. We see Muslims doing this all over, and most people want to rationalize, like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's not that, we cannot generalize or something like that, and it's fucking obvious and everybody knows it, but the majority of people, I guess it's like a decreasing majority, but still majority, are like they because they are pussies. It's not because they are stupid, because they know what's going on, but they've been trained by the media, they've been brainwashed, and they're just fucking pussies. Like most people, they just want to believe whatever society seems to think is the norm. They want to think the norm, and it's still the norm to suck Muslim cock or Middle Eastern cock or whatever. So they do it. But of course it's obvious, but you're still not supposed to talk about it. So yeah, like, of course, like, to talk about solutions, it would of course be that we should tighten the immigration stuff and not let refugees here, because like at least I don't know if they still do it, but at least like earlier, like a year or two ago, they pretty much let anybody come to Europe if they said they were a Syrian refugee. Even if they were like black as night Somalis or something, and they said I'm Syrian, then they let you become a refugee in Europe and all that stuff. And also the authorities, they said in the European governmental authorities said that there's gonna be ISIS fighters among the refugees, and oh well, what can we do? And it's just like we don't care, and well, it just means that it's an this whole situation is orchestrated. It has been orchestrated, and that's why I just I want to try to point out the facts. Like I don't have the power to change governmental policy or European Union policy or anything like that, or even I cannot rally the masses to my cause. I don't have that power, but at least like I can try to understand the facts, like why we are in this fucked up situation. Like after the nuclear holocaust or whatever, like maybe people like archaeologists 1,000 years from now will find one of my videos or something I wrote, or somebody like me, and then they will understand something like, oh, those people were so fucking, they were dumb ass pussies who were afraid to say facts because it didn't go along with the social consensus. So I don't know. Yeah, so I guess that's basically why I'm doing it. Like, at least, I can try to, say things as they are. And yeah, this was interesting. This, like, MV-lehti is like the WTF magazine. This is like an evil right-wing hate website, with anti-Islamic slant and so forth. Some internet magazine. I don't read it that often, but of course, since this event happened, I thought it was interesting to say what they write. And they just showed like tweets from some refugees hospitality club, some liberal organization, and like, have you ever thought what a bomb will accrue when people are being treated badly? And this is like bad Finnish. It's not. Kun ihmiset kohdellaan huonosti, like it sounds like it's been written by a non-native speaker. So this is basically excusing, like, oh, he had been treated badly. Like, treated badly by who? Like, does she or he or whoever like know the attacker personally? How do they know that the person was treated badly? And then they say sorry for Turku. Like this MV-lehti, they write that first, like this Refugees for Hospitality Club, first they are like sort of excusing the attackers' activities. But then they are being sorry for Turku, so it's like, so they're sort of changing their tunes to, I don't know, fit whatever crap they're pushing. And yeah, this is from Rasmus Against Racism, some from network thingy. So this guy tweeted, the cases like this will probably increase racism, and then just the eyewitnesses say that the man wielding a knife attacked in Turku and stabbed a woman with a pram. So yeah, this like this guy, like this, I don't like you know, maybe like in Iran or in the Bible and stuff, they were like, you know, people get stoned for some sort of crimes they do, and well, people like this, like this guy is concerned about racism, but he's not concerned about the people that got killed, like, you know, women, or like this. I guess the child didn't get the child, if the woman with the pram and she had a child there, like you know, I guess the child didn't get hurt, but like, you know, but it matters more what these, you know, adult men who commit attacks, like he is more concerned for adult men who attack women and children. And yeah, one of the I think the media said that one of the victims was 17 years old, so like technically a child. So yeah, these people are absolute scum. Because I don't take it like so personally when these Muslims do these attacks, because well, that's just what they do. It's sort of like if you let foxes into your hen house and they eat your chickens, you cannot blame the fox because it is a fox. But I blame these kind of people, and of course the government, like the EU government, the Finnish government, because they want these people here because it's part of their agenda. It's not because they are so compassionate. They want to, like, you know, dilute European, you know, nationalism and values and whatnot. And well, we don't have many values anymore, so it's very easy. But another, and then I'll get to the final point of this video, and another reason for this is of course the United States government, or like, well, the puppet of the globalist establishment. Like, it is still, because I don't like this, you know, oh, the Muslims did this, we should just, you know, react and be angry at them, because they didn't create the situation. They are like an attack dog, basically, for the globalist establishment to, you know, further their agendas, whatever they are. But like, you know, the CIA has been fucking up the Middle East longer than I've been alive, certainly. Yeah, like this, in 1947, the CIA had toppled the government of Syria and Iran. They had a role in overthrowing the government in 1953. And yeah, then they helped Iraq carry out a lethal attack on Iran. And then they turned against Iraq. And this article doesn't say that, of course, they were in the 80s in Afghanistan and helped like the Taliban and, you know, founded Al-Qaeda and all that stuff. They're just more, you know, American puppets or CIA puppets. And well, yeah, and of course the whole war and terror stuff, that's nothing new. And like, you know, even this, like in the 65 and 66 in Indonesia, so the Indonesian government or whatever, they killed, there were large-scale killings and civil unrest which occurred in Indonesia over many months, targeting communist sympathizers, ethnic Chinese, and alleged leftists, often at the instigation of the armed forces and government. From 500,000 to 1 million people were killed. And first was a pivotal effort in the transition to the New Order. New World Order. I wonder, the elimination of the Indonesian Communist Party. And I don't mind like elimination of communist parties, but I prefer them to be still like more civilized ways of elimination. Like, I don't know, maybe just make it more difficult, or like point out to them how insane communism is or something, because it's this isn't any better. Like, one reason why I hate communism is because it's so fucking murderous and insane, and this seems like murderous and insane. And here it says that despite the consensus at the highest levels of the US and British governments that it would be necessary to liquidate Sukarno as related in a CIA memorandum from 1962, and the existence of extensive contacts between anti-communist army officers and US military establishment, blah 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 blah, the CIA denies active involvement in the killings. It was later revealed that the US government provided extensive lists of communists to Indonesian death squads. So, well, definitely like the, American CIA, American government or military or however you describe it, they have been doing this shit in like Islamic countries for decades, destabilizing, attacking their countries, and then nowadays they have started to use it as an excuse to bring those people here. And so I suppose there is some truth to what this person said. Like, have you ever wondered what a bomb is accrued when people are being treated badly? Like, there is like, it does not excuse all of these attacks and violence and murder that have happened in Europe, but it is certainly like because it is like, in some sense we do deserve this, and I'm gonna explain why. Because our governments have been doing this shit, this evil shit, for decades, and we haven't done shit about it. Like, and there was the Iran-Contra in the 80s and whatever. Like, we've known about this. Like, the basic reason why we haven't like curbed the evil actions of our governments is because people are complete fucking pussies, or they are so like, complacent, and they don't want to, rock the boat. They just want to have their, fancy digital whatever, like, televisions and smartphones, and play with them and play Pokemon Go instead of, providing a fucking future for their children and stuff like that. Because, you'd have to go against the government, you'd have to disagree with the mainstream media, you would have to, say something hateful. Like, yeah, I'm saying something hateful. Like, I fucking hate I hate fucking Europe, I hate Europeans, I hate fucking Middle East, I hate Middle Easterners. Like, I don't know, like, there isn't much good in humanity, like from any angle you look at it. Like, they aren't like noble victims like these Middle Easterners, and we aren't like innocent, civilized people who are being invaded because it's our own governments who are doing it, and we have allowed it for decades, for longer than I have been born. Like, I guess they're like only excuse, like, I don't know, like, I'm 30 something, but at time, like, at what point do I become like responsible myself for this? Like, I've certainly been against like the war on terror since 2001 and the invasion of Iraq, but it doesn't matter one iota what's my moral opinion about it, because I didn't do anything about it, not really. Like, I don't know, what can I do? But I don't know, like, I don't think there is any like solution that human beings, like, I guess the only thing you can really do is like believe in God or something. And well, I believe that God exists and that he created the world and life and stuff, but I don't know if I believe in any kind of interventionist God. So I don't know, like, I just see that this just shows the low nature of humanity, like all of this shit, these constant attacks, and how we have, as Westerners, we have allowed it to this situation to like be born, like you cannot have, like, let's say that somebody builds a, I don't know, giant death ray in their basement, and they build it, they keep building it for 5 years, and they bring all the parts there, and then when they finally finish the death ray, and then they press the button, and then they kill a gazillion people in one go, and then it's like, oh, it's so horrible, that guy killed a gazillion people, it's unthinkable. Like, no, it's not. Like, he was building it for 5 years. Why didn't you do anything then? Like, why are you whining about it now? And, well, yeah, that's basically how we, like, as Westerners have been doing, because we don't have any values. We haven't had any values for decades, and we don't have any fucking balls. It's just like, or like, and then the right wing is just like, it's those damn Muslims, because, well, no, originally it's not. It's your fucking government. It's your fucking EU that you fucking fuckwads, you like, voted to join the fucking EU. And but it's easier to blame the external threat if you are, like, let's say, a right-wing kind of person. But if you're a lefty, well, then it's just, I don't know, easiest to whatever, like, humanity is doomed. Like, I don't know, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just the nature of man.